getting back. Coming back. Sorry, everybody. Instagram just shut me down for music. So, guess we're not allowed to practice with tunes. Led Zeppelin obviously did not like seeing Archery, so we got shut down. So we're back at it. This is end 3, just pulled arrows from the first 2 ends, so we'll be a little bit more discreet. No tunes, that sucks. Couple of the things that I can feel myself lacking in is posture. Start to kind of fall into the shot a little bit. So really got to focus on standing tall and proud, keeping my abdomen, my core tight. That's a little bit lacking right now. Draw cycle could be better, but I'm a big believer in selective cycling. So even though I recognize some of those things, right now, this is my 3rd day. It's probably going to be the roughest day because normally, just like if you lift, day 3, you're sore, you're tired. So I definitely feel that way a little bit, but I'm not going to focus on all these different things. I just want to focus on getting these 4 down there, pulling through, trying to keep that front shoulder down and forward. That's really my focus. We can pick apart some of that other stuff later on. One of the things that makes it tough, that's one of the hard things with tournament archery too, is when you stop, you talk, you kind of get out of that cadence. Yesterday when I filmed my whole session, I was just going through, not stopping, not talking. Really helps you get into the rhythm. So even though sometimes it's awesome to go to the archery shop with all your buddies, it was never productive for me. That's why I've gone through endless lengths to always make sure I had a place to practice in consolidation. And I put myself in around other people when it was closer to the time where I had to do that for a tournament. But when it came to practice, I really like to just be able to get in a cadence, get in a rhythm, and I might do that on the next end here. That was a good shot. Right on the spider. All right, some of the stuff I thought about during that round. Pin moved a little bit on the first shot. Kind of felt good about it. And then kind of just shut up and shot. So you can see those are good. Practicing, if you didn't read the post yesterday, practicing on the mid-range face right now, just so that I can kind of really trust that pin float within the black. I'm shooting the Spot Hog knock-on NE with my regular hunting fibers. So you can see here, got pretty much my regular setup, slightly smaller peep, which will help improve groups. Set you guys back in there. That was 3. So this round I'll just let it rip, not talk to you guys in between, so you can kind of see how an end would transpire. Normally it's going to be about 26 minutes for a practice with power of 4. Take advantage of long stabilizers. These are awesome. Got 2 links, 27s and 30s. This is wide depending on your height. lets you rest that front shoulder between shots. Take advantage of that. Really important. A lot of people always have their bow like this, always loaded. Loaded on the front shoulder, and then they're here when they're loading. Always like this. They never relax that front shoulder, so just taking the weight off that front shoulder, some between shots, will do a lot for you. All right, here we go. Last shot, felt some tension in the shoulder. But once again, that's why this drill is being done. Felt a little bit of tension in that shoulder. Still solid. Still right where I want to be. So one of the things I'm going to show you guys next for this next end. We had 2 ends before I got shut down. And then, I don't know if that's 5. Any of you guys know? Is that 5 or... That's 5? I think that's N5. I'm not sure. I'm going to lose track. I knew I would. That's me. Okay, so let me talk to you guys quick about efficiency in between shots. So this is one thing that normally I only coach when I'm in person. I watch someone shoot, but a lot of people get in the habit of like trying to load their bow like this. They'll clip their bow here, and then they'll turn it down. And then sometimes they'll get their bow over here, raise it up, draw back, then level it out. Super inefficient. Super inefficient, creates torque. Also, honestly, people knock their arrows too tight. I've seen hunters do this. They end up lighting their nocturnals up prematurely. You really want to try to keep your bow close to yourself. Rest that stabilizer on your foot. Bring your bow up. Take your arrow out. Slide it just like this. Right there. Clip it here. Then you can take your stabilizer, set on your leg. If you don't have a side rod, set your cam on your leg, or if if you're ranging or something like that, set that stabilizer on the ground. So efficiency during draw. All right, here we go. shoulder down, forward, fourth arrow, focus on that. Good. And you can probably tell the length of time. Right now, I'm not totally in practice shape, so each one of those arrows, you know, those, especially those later arrows, are just taking a little bit more time. Still good. But again, that's part of why we're doing this. Just focusing on getting those reps, getting the 4 in. Makes a big difference for me. It's just like weight training. A lot of times when I weight train, I really like to just change up the reps or even the rep count, or just to slightly give myself something different so that I'm not just getting stagnant in what I'm doing. All right. One of the reasons why I draw these marks where my feet are going is just because part of my shot routine is always focusing on my stance, stuff like that. When I'm shooting indoors, I just want to be super repetitive. Just stand in my box. And honestly, you see my zipper right here. A lot of times I'll wear a button-up shirt, I'll wear a zipper, I'll wear a jacket, whatever. And that's because during my shot, when that safety goes off, I'm thinking only focus on from my zipper back. So I'm focusing from this part of my body back. All I want to do is focus on the movement that's going back here. I also focus on tip of my elbow right up here to this little bar behind me. I'm focusing on trying to pull the tip of that elbow to that bar just like that to help me get through my shot cleaner. Good shot right there. Really felt what I needed to. Nice. Sweet. Feeling good right now. Last 2 ends are super solid. It's pretty common. I normally don't like to practice, like warm up before I practice. I kind of just like to go. So good. And a big reason for that is just sometimes, you know, when you're at a tournament or in a hunting situation, sometimes you just don't have the ability to sit there and warm up. Plus, when I'm not in shooting shape, which right now I am not in shooting shape, that extra 5-10 arrows to get me going could end up being problematic. So I just go for it. The other thing I'll tell you too is after that first day, kind of walked my sight in a little bit, got close. I haven't moved my sight. I'm just shooting. Even though I know I could be micro adjusting a little bit, it's just not worth it. I want to shoot for a week, look at that fresh target and kind of get an idea of where my mistakes are. If I'm chasing my sight the whole time, then I'm never really gonna know when I see that face, because that's a representation of practice. It's a fresh target. I'm gonna be able to say, okay, when I had marginal hits, my marginal hits were here. And it'll help me identify, okay, if I'm low right, it's probably when I'm getting tired, elbows down, I'm pulling out away from my face, arrows following that movement. So I can tell myself, all right, well, out of a week's practice, the majority of my misses were me elbow down coming out away. Or I could say majority of my misses were maybe slight bobble with it fires. And that's just something, again, if you're getting tired and you're holding, and then all of a sudden you just bobble, sometimes that little bit of extra movement helps that fire. So that's okay. It's just an identifier. Here we go. Strongest shot right here. Nice. On that last shot, I'm sure you can hear me. Told myself, okay, let's finish strong shot. If you watch that back, I don't know if any of you will, I'll leave this up on my Instagram. Watch that last shot back. Sorry, show you guys. There's gonna be some people wondering if I'm really doing it. Yeah, I really do it. But on that last shot, actually felt really solid. You can watch the draw cycle of that last shot. When I pulled that bow back on that rep, I actually knew it was gonna be good, just because I was very fluid in that draw. That's important. So, all right. How many ends is that? 8, maybe? Anybody? Okay, I'm gonna talk to you. So when I'm holding this release, you can see hands flat, just like that. Don't curl the hand, hands flat, it's elongated. That's important because this is consistent for draw length. This is all inconsistent for draw length. So if I do this with my hand every time right there, I know that length is always the same, okay? As soon as I make a fist, I've changed my draw length. As soon as I stretch out, change my draw length. The bigger your hands, the more that can start to magnify too. So keep my hand flat. That's why that's spaced, and that release is that thickness to fit right there. And I can tell you that 60% of my pull is with the index finger, pulling harder with that index finger, focusing on pulling that V right there, pulling that V along my jaw as my elbow's working back. All right, here we go. What I will tell you is once I get practiced in a little bit, I'm definitely going to kind of convert this bow over a little bit more specific for indoor. I'll have a little bit bigger arrow diameter, a little bit bigger fletch, but this bow is kind of ready to go from tack, my hybrid bow. So smaller diameter arrow. Poundage is a little bit more than what my indoor bow would be. This is about 66 pounds right now. So it's closer to my target or my hunting bow, but not totally an indoor target bow. Like finishing good on that fourth arrow. That's really my focus right now, is just strong fourth arrows. And right there, boom. It's actually first time I missed, or it's the second time I've missed that white circle right there. But here's what's cool. See what I talked about earlier? First miss, out to the right. Second time I've missed, which is only two, also out to the right. So if I watch that back, probably coming out away from my face, not pulling through, coming out. So that's, again, good indicator. And a big reason why I really like starting with these fresh targets too. I'm trying to see here. I just shoot two more ends just because. Make sure I get my reps in. I'm not sure how many I did shoot. I think we're at 8 or 9. I don't know. I'll shoot two more. All right, here we go. I guess next time I go live, you can put your own music on, so it isn't so dead, calm. Yesterday, my practice round took 26 minutes, start to finish. Just pretty much shot, pulled, return, shot, pulled, return. One of the things that was good about that too was just I got more tired because I wasn't giving myself the ability to rest. Right now I'm resting definitely more than I've rested in the first 3 practice rounds, which also doesn't let me get in the flow as much. So it's also good training too. Awesome. Okay, we got one end left. I'm fairly certain. Maybe I'm wrong. Hopefully I'm right. Guess I can go back through and count it. But we're here. You guys tell me if anyone's paying attention. Anybody? Yeah, my camera is reversed. Sorry about that. That's the problem with Instagram Live. So, I don't know. That is a problem. But look at it upside down. doesn't make sense. All right. So yeah, here we go. Last end, I'm pretty sure. I'm gonna give you guys one more thing to think about. So this round, or when you guys practice today, and gals, sorry, I always say guys out of habit, but people ask a lot about breathing. How do I breathe through my shot sequence? So I'm breathing normal right now. I'll normally take a deep breath before the end, and if my face right there is the target, I'll raise my pin to the target, point it at the target, and then I draw back while I'm pointed at that target. Being efficient for where you put your bow when you draw and when you anchor, if you're efficient, like most of the time, my pin is touching or within the realm of that black. You should naturally get used to being able to point your bow at something, put the pin there, and when you draw back, you're already point on, because having to come way up from the bottom or drop way down from the top, all that's super inefficient. Also leads to target anticipation or freezing. So I breathe, take a deep breath, I breathe out, raise my bow, put it on that target, and I'm drawing in some air slow as I'm drawing back. I'm anchoring, looking through my peep sight, and as soon as I do that, I let my air just naturally start to escape. I mean, it barely comes out. I'm not breathing heavy. It's just, if I'm holding and I feel like I need to just let a little air out, I'll slowly let air out. But again, efficiency for target acquisition and efficiency on that breath control as you're approaching target acquisition is definitely gonna help you out. So let's get this last end here. Take a couple good breaths. My breath in is through my nose as well, breathing in through my nose during that draw. That one's a little harder on the back wall. Nice. So I've learned breath control. One of the people that I learned it really good from was actually Peter Attia. Talked to me about breathing and also abdominal breathing. So sometimes when you see me shoot, my stomach is out. So a lot of times my stomach, as I draw, I'm using my diaphragm, my stomach is going to expand slightly, because especially depending on how long I know I'm going to be in a shot. If I'm going to be in a shot a little longer, or if I know I'm going to be focused on, being a little bit more still, making good shots, I might draw a little bit more in there. So there's going to be more in there. And then obviously it kind of helps me sit into my shot too. But there are times where if I'm breathing a lot normally, you know, I drew more oxygen in that last end just because all of you were listening while I was talking. So I felt like I needed to breathe a little bit more. So I did, but just to make sure I did 10 ends, I'm gonna do one more. This might be 11, might be 12. I'm sure this isn't 9. So finish strong. All right, last end was good, way more normal when it comes to cadence. So that's it. Hope you guys and gals enjoyed practice session. It's good. They were all in there but that one. But again, I've got 2 in the last 3 days that were that far apart, both right. Great identifier is right here, coming out and away. Arrow's gonna follow that. So it's just one of those things where as I shoot, especially as I'm getting tired, I will tell myself, release hand over the shoulder, release hand over the shoulder, and school of knock, that's gonna be part of the follow through. So it's an identifier. I'll utilize it later, but for right now, I'm not worried about it, 100%. I'm happy with where I'm shooting. Good solid end. Even better finish right there on the 4. Super happy. Thanks everybody for joining in. Knock on, everybody.